11 years ago, when I started my business, I started from absolute scratch. I was living with 4 or 5 other girls in a terrible neighborhood. I was making no money, and I had every reason in the world to believe that my business, making money online would not work for me. And I made $63 in my first year because my money mindset and my ability to attract money was that bad. I was in a ton of medical debt. I was in a ton of student loan debt. It's just like as not maybe not as bad can be, but it certainly felt that way. And I certainly feel like I started from zero. And now here I am, 11 years later, consistently making $400,000 every single month. I profit about 60% of that. So I take home a little more than $200,000 every single month in profit. That is a really big jump. And I was able to make that jump because I reprogrammed my mind. And this mental reprogramming, this money manifestation can feel very overwhelming and very not practical. And so I'm actually very good at the practical stuff. And so in this video, what I want to do is teach you very practically how to reprogram your mind, how I went from $0 to $400,000 months through the power of mental, like money mindset, affirmations, and mental reprogramming, basically is the word I'm looking for. So there's 4 things that it takes if you want to reprogram your mind. And it's very, I don't want to say it's very difficult because I don't want to like put that limiting belief on you, but you can't just accidentally stumble your way into attracting the level of money that I am attracting. Like that's not an accident. It doesn't just happen. You don't go from zero to $400,000 a month accidentally. You have to be very, very, very mindful, and you have to do a lot of money mindset work. And the more I talk to everyone in my audience, the more I realize that we're all kind of lacking basic money mindset tenets. And that's what I want to go over with you today. So it takes 4 things in order to reprogram your mind. All of them are really important, and we're going to go over each one. First thing it takes is faith. You have to believe that you can actually change your reality. You have to believe that you can actually make money. You have to believe that you can actually attract wealth to you. You have to actually believe that you can be someone who's wealthy. You have to actually believe that this stuff works. And I mean, frankly, just getting very like real with you guys, I was so young. I was like 18 when I found out about the law of attraction. And I was so young, and I had been homeschooled. And so I had been very sheltered. And I was so young and sheltered and naive that I just believed the law of attraction, and I never even thought to doubt it. And now, as someone who's like a little bit older, I'm like, like that was such a gift. I had no skepticism at all about the law of attraction. Probably maybe when I should have had a little bit, right? I should have had a little bit of like, well, what if this doesn't work? But I just didn't. I just had complete faith. That's the first thing that you've got to have. And faith is belief without evidence, right? And that's kind of what you need here. You need to believe without evidence that it will work. And I'll talk about evidence later because that actually is going to come up. But you have to believe at its fundamental level. If you do not believe you can change your reality, you won't. Like fundamentally, you have to believe in the law of attraction. You have to believe that what you put out is what you attract, and that you can control your reality. You have to believe that it's possible because nothing else, like everything else, will not follow. Second thing that it takes is ownership. It takes ownership. Can you accept that you have created your current reality? You've created it. And that's a hard pill for a lot of us to swallow. It was certainly a hard pill for me to swallow when I felt like the world was against me and my past was against me and my situation was against me, and that I had been screwed over by a lot of people and that it was unfair. It was very hard for me to accept that everything I was struggling with was my fault. That was very hard. And it's very hard for a lot of people to accept that. We don't want to think that. But if you can't accept that you've created your current reality, how do you think you're going to change your future reality? So you have to take full ownership. You're in charge of your reality. You create your reality. Believe it or not, like it or not, you create your reality. Third thing is that it takes gratitude. Money is repelled by desperation. So when someone's maybe they're in my coaching group and they post and they're like, I have to make money and I have to do it right now because of this reason. And they're just so frenzied and so frenetic. And I can smell the desperation miles away. And it's not to judge. It's just to say that part of the reason you're feeling like it's not working is because you're so panicked about it working. Money is repelled by desperation. And the fastest way to get out of that place of money being repelled by you is to start expressing gratitude for what you have. This is something that I was really, really bad at. I did not have, you would never believe it if you talk to me now, but I used to be a very negative person. I would fill the spaces in conversation by complaining about anything and everything. I was a big, big, big complainer, like habitual complainer. And you would never guess that now that you know me, you would never guess that. But I used to complain constantly. And I had to reprogram. I had to reprogram my mind to put my default setting at gratitude. To now, it's like even when like 2 years ago when I went through my divorce and everything that led up to that, and it was brutal and it truly, a lot of it like did not feel like it was my fault. It felt very unfair. It felt very cruel. I was able to go through it. Someone commented like, "You are so grateful. You are so positive going through this." And I wasn't Pollyannistic, right? I wasn't just like ignoring the hurt that I was going through and the feelings that I was feeling, but it was more like I was finding what was good from that situation, what I was grateful for from that situation, and I was allowing myself to see the positive in everything I was going through. And that's such a gift. And that actually attracts more money, that attracts more opportunities, that attracts more abundance. So the third thing that you have to have if you're going to reprogram your mind is gratitude. And then it also takes extreme intentionality. So like I said earlier, you do not stumble your way into a $400,000 month or $400,000 months consistently. You don't stumble your way into $100,000 a year. You don't stumble your way into any kind of money. You have to be extremely intentional, like way more than you would think. I'll give you a very practical example. When you're talking about your goals, never say, if I hit this goal, so if I get 100,000 followers, or if I make $100,000, or if my business takes off, or if I get my first sale. Never say if. Say when. When my business takes off, when I get my first sale, when I hit 100,000 followers, when I make $100,000, when I make, hit XYZ goal, finish your sentence. So never say if, never say when. Anyone who works for me, so anyone who's an employee of mine who spends any amount of time with me, will tell you that I drill this into them. I am constantly, and I'll do this to my friends without even thinking. They'll be like, oh yeah, like, if I ever if I decide to run that marathon, if I get first place in that marathon, I'll be like, when you get first place in that marathon, like I'll just almost like to a level that's antisocial, just sit there and correct them because it's such a habit for me. I don't even mean to. I just have become so reprogrammed in my own brain to correct my own brain saying if, that I just do it to everybody. So your thoughts and your words have so much power, and you have to be so careful what you speak over yourself. Another example could be like, oh, of course my tire popped as soon as I spent the money on that. Of course, as soon as my paycheck was deposited, my car broke down and I needed to spend money on that. Of course, as soon as I booked the flight to Florida, it decided to pull up a hurricane, right? Like, of course this bad thing happened. Why are you saying that? Of course implies you expect bad things to happen. Start expecting good things to happen. So your language and your thoughts create so much of your reality, more than you're even aware. And so you've got to start self-policing yourself. You've got to start, even at the first level, just have some basic level of awareness to what you're saying. So each one of those things, faith, ownership, gratitude, and intentionality, are really big. They're just really big things you're going to work at over time. So where I'm at with I basically, just so you know where I'm at now, I actually know that anything I want, I'm going to get. And I know that sounds probably insane, but I really do believe that from the bottom of my heart and every fiber of my being, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. If I want something, I will get it. Without a shadow of a doubt, without a question. It is decided already if I want it. It's already mine. And you think I got there on day one? No, it took me 11 years to get to that point. But even if it looked like I was dying, I would still not think I actually was. It would happen for me. And I never worry about the how. So there's another, I have a couple of pro tips coming up. I never worry about the how. Like, how am I going to get this? How is this going to happen? Like, I'll give you an example. I really want more kids. I am not interested in dating at all right now. And I don't really feel like having kids without being partnered to someone. That's just my preference. So do I know right now how that's going to happen? No. But do I know I'm going to have more kids? Absolutely. I have no doubt about that. That is going to happen for me. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the fact that I'm turning 30. I'm not worried about the fact that I don't really want to worry about dating for like a decade or more. Like, I'm just not worried about it because I know that if I want more children, I'm going to have more children, and it is already decided. It's done. It's already done. So pro tip number 1, don't worry about the how. It's going to happen. Worry more about your own lack of belief. Pro tip number 2, do not, I mean this with such a level of intensity, do not talk about your journey of manifesting with anyone. Don't breathe a word about you manifesting to a single person. Because what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to show you all the evidence why manifesting doesn't work, why your goals won't happen, why you're silly for believing it. And I learned this the hard way, right? you've got to shut up about manifesting. You've got to not talk about it. Even I love like your significant others. Oftentimes they mean well, but they're not in our world. So they don't even really know what we're talking about here. And so oftentimes our significant others, we trust them so much, and we like put such a high level of weight to their opinion that they can really damage our own journey and our own growth by not understand. Again, it's not to say like, oh, your significant other isn't properly rooting for you. It's just like they don't know. They don't know. And so they're just doing the best they can with the information they have. They just don't have enough information. So do not talk about your journey of manifesting with a single soul. Do not open your mouth. Don't open your mouth about it. And then 3, another pro tip is to celebrate every unexpected penny. When I was getting started, I would pick up change off the sidewalk, and I would express gratitude, be like, oh my gosh, I found a nickel. That's awesome. I'm so grateful. I love it when I find money. I'm always finding money when I'm not expecting it. If I got a little unexpected coupon for like $3 off a pizza, I would be so happy about that. I started celebrating every single unexpected dollar. Like, the unexpected is what I particularly mean, like money you weren't expecting to get. That's what's fun to celebrate. And what happened is the unexpected money just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point now where I just recently, last month, I got a check in the mail that was so big, because I still have a bank on the East Coast. And I got a check that was so big, I could not deposit it mobily. And so when I happened to be on the East Coast last week, I had to deposit it there while I was like in an area where my bank branch was. So I had to go deposit this check that was so big, I couldn't even deposit it mobily on the app. And that was it was an unexpected check. And so you kind of like, that's what happens is like I started by celebrating nickels off the sidewalk. Gradually over time, I just attract money. Money loves me because I understand money, and I love money, and I receive money, and I welcome money, and I'm open and ready to receive as much money as I want. And so couple of other things, 3 other things. I have 2 books I want you to read. And by the way, guys, if you're new here to the channel, I make content like this all the time. So be sure to subscribe. I make videos like this twice a week. I also do a lot of the like inner mindset work you need, but I do it very practically because this world can be very overwhelming. And then I also do, for the majority of the content I make is like very, like how to, it's very, very practical, like how to go launch a digital product or how to grow your audience. That's a lot of what I do too. So it's the mental stuff, but then it's also the like how we actually do this stuff. Okay. So 2 books that I think every single person needs to read: Richard Dott's Dollars Flow to Me Easily, and then You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. Both of these are super important books. They really, really, really helped me. And then there is a video that I want you to watch. I'm just going to share my screen super quickly. This one here, it's by Paul. I'll link it in the description as well. It's by Paul Santisi. You can see he publishes 9 years ago. I listened to this money manifesting meditation over and over and over and over again. And I noticed an immediate and dramatic difference in my income. So I highly recommend this audio. I don't know what it is about it. I have listened to it so many times. I almost have the like hour and a half meditation memorized. Like I could probably sit here and say the whole thing to you. So I highly recommend that. If you look at the comments on this too, by the way, there's a lot of people saying like, okay, first comment, I've listened to this for about 2 weeks and I told the universe I wanted $1,000. I won $1,000 today on a $5 scratch off. I'm so grateful and so ready for more of what the universe has for me. That's just the top comment. So I highly, highly recommend this. So another person says, everyone who believes in the law of attraction knows that thoughts create reality. Not only does this meditation change your thoughts, it also uses the thoughts of Paul, the guy who made it, to create your reality. Yeah, just really, 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 really good stuff. So I highly recommend that. Again, if you're new here, my name is Maria Wendt. I run a basically $5 million business at this point, teaching women how to make money online. I really think that when women have money, they do really good things with it. So my mission is to help women make as much money as humanly possible. I'll see you in the next video.